Hello anybody, and thanks for tuning in to Monday Morning Handicapping. This is a grain of salt edition, typically where I have a question about horse racing that I'm asking myself. I go through my old racing forums to try to find parts of a solution and answers and present them to anyone who's watching this video. And this grain of salt is going to be based around the Sacramento leading trainer standings. As most people know, Golden Gate Fields in the Bay Area of California just shut down, and it is time for the fair circuit where they travel up and down the state, mostly central and northern California. But horse racing is taking place at various locations now, and right now they just finished up their 3 weeks at Pleasanton and have moved to Sacramento for a few weeks. So I wanted to take a look at who had been the leading trainers over the last couple years, and it turns out that Isidro Tamayo and Jamie Thomas have led the standings for the past 3 years. Both of them were top two for the last 3 years. I didn't even go back further. I wanted more relevant information, but these have been the hot trainers so far, so I went back through some old racing forums to figure out some workout patterns and see what their tendencies are and see how maybe their tendencies can help my handicapping moving forward into this Sacramento meet. So without further delay, let's go ahead and take a look. So first and foremost, we want to look at the last 3 years, wins, starts, and win percentage at Sacramento. So Isidro Tamayo, last year, 2023, 11 wins out of 28 starters for a win rate of 39%. Jamie Thomas in second, 6 wins from 14 starters, so 6-11. Tamayo much hotter recently. The year before that, 2022, Jamie Thomas had the win, 11 wins from 22 starters for a win rate of 50%. Isidro Tamayo with 10 wins from 28 starters for a win rate of 36%, so one less win, but a much lower win rate. Not much lower, 14 points lower. And the year before that, they skipped the COVID year. Jamie Thomas was the leading trainer at Sacramento, 7 wins from 15 starters, win rate of 47%, where Isidro Tamayo again lost by 1 winner, 6 wins from 17 starters for a win rate of 35%. So looking at each trainer's individual wins, I went back and looked at Golden Gate Fields, which is where they had been running primarily 9 months out of the year, and also the fair circuits minus Ferndale, just because the track circumference is 5 furlongs, whereas every other track that they run year round is 1 mile in circumference. So I thought it would be, although I love Ferndale, it would be worthwhile to kind of exclude that track because it just might play different with multiple turns. So these wins are for conventional racetracks, which are typically 1 mile in circumference. So we'll take a look at Isidro Tamayo first. I'm looking at his workouts before a sprint win, and my sample size going through all my Golden Gate forms, all my California Fair summer meet forms. I had 39 winners for Isidro Tamayo that were sprint races, which means a 1-turn race, 6 furlongs or shorter. Before a sprint win, there were no workouts between the most recent race and the race that they had won. 15 times out of 39, there were no workouts, 38% of the time. For a 3 furlong work between the most recent race and the next win, there was only 1 3 furlong workout, so 1 of 39 equates to 3%, and that lone workout was 37 seconds. Not really quick, but not super slow. A 4 furlong workout before a sprint win, there were 18 of those out of 39, 46% of the time, and the average time for those workouts was 49.1 seconds. 5 out of those 39 wins, they had a 5 furlong workout between the most recent race and the race that they had won for a 13%, average time of 1 minute and 3.2 seconds. And there were no 1 mile or longer workouts, let alone 6 furlong. I realize I forgot 6 furlong, but that never came up for either trainer. So when it does, I will add that in. Another thing I wanted to note were 2 workouts between the most recent race and the race that they had won before a sprint. There were 13 times a horse had worked out twice before a sprint win, 13 out of 39, so 33% of the time before a sprint win, a horse had at least 2 workouts, and this does include layoffs. So if a horse hadn't raced in a year, of course he's going to have more than 1 workout. So again, these are averages. They can get skewed. Outliers can move it one way or the other, but either way, I wanted to point out the patterns. So the left side here is the most recent workout, followed by the one prior. Isidro Tamayo, when he had 2 workouts before a sprint win, He would run 4 furlongs, then 4 furlongs before that 6 times, 5 furlong workout most recent, 4 furlong workout before that 3 times, 4 furlong, 5 furlong 2 times, 5 and 5 1, 4 and 3 1. So third of the time before a sprint win, he likes to get in more than one workout, it appears, and definitely favors the 4-4 pattern. Take it with a grain of salt, like the name implies, but just something I noticed. And some takeaways from this that I had: he tends toward no workouts or a moderate 4 furlong workout, 38 and 46% of the time, respectively, if you follow my cursor over here. 10 out of 39 of those wins, 29% of the time, were tag drop or non-claiming into claiming races. So for those that don't know, there's a lot of races that are called claiming races, meaning the horse is in a class level based on the purchase price of the horse. So other trainers or owners could buy your horse out of the race, and that's how they keep it honest. So you don't put a really good horse in a really weak field just to get a win, because someone could buy your expensive horse for cheap. But that's kind of the claiming game, and maybe I'll make a video just about claiming game another time. But 29% of the time, he was dropping that asking price before a win, or was coming from a race where you couldn't claim or buy the horse into a claiming race in which you could buy the horse regardless of price. 29% of the time for sprint races were tag drops or into claiming races. The other thing, no most recent 3 furlong work before a race with 2 workouts. So if you go back up to the pattern, when there were at least 2 workouts, he never had his most recent workout be a 3 furlong workout. One time, the second to most recent was a 3 furlong, but he does not seem to like to work his horses with a 3 furlong workout before a win. A 4 furlong work for sprinters was 0.6 seconds faster than for routers. So he likes to work his sprinters a little faster at 4 furlongs than his routers, which are 2-turn races typically in this circuit. But we'll take a look at that moving forward. So let's take a look at Tamayo workouts before a route win, a sample size of 41. There were no workouts before a route win 54% of the time, 0 out of 41 3 furlongs, 10 out of 41, 24%, with an average time of 49.7 seconds. 9 times, 22% of the time, 1 minute 2.9 seconds average time for 5 furlong work before a route win, and none at a mile or more. 2 workouts before a route win pattern, 11 wins. 27% of his wins had 2 workouts before a route win. 4 furlongs most recently, preceded by a 5 furlong work 4 times, 4 and 4 3 times, 5 and 5 twice, and then a 5 preceded by a 4 one time. My takeaways from his workouts before a route win were tends toward no workout before a route win, 54% of the time. 9 out of the 41, 22% of the time, were those tag drop or non-claimer into claiming races. No 3 furlong works before a route win or in a 2 workout pattern prior. So as you notice, there are no 3 furlong workouts in his 2 workouts before a route win pattern. So he's going to win a route race. He does not like a 3 furlong work before a horse wins. So something to look out for if he's got a horse running a route and there's a 3 furlong work, most recent or the one prior to the most recent. Maybe take a look. Will work 4 furlongs or 5 furlongs before a route win at similar rates. So unlike his sprints where he seemed to like 4 furlongs better, when he's about to win a route race, he'll work 5 furlongs a little more often as opposed to his sprints, about on par with 4 or 5. So 4 or 5 or no workouts seem to be his bread and butter for a route win. 5 furlong works for routers are almost a half second than for sprinters, so he likes to work out his routers a little further, going 5 furlongs than his sprinters. And again, this doesn't take into account a horse's actual ability. We're taking maidens, we're taking his cream of the crop in his stable. Same with Jamie Thomas. It's just across the board, randomly selected the racing forms I had at my disposal. So now we're going to move on. Jamie Thomas workouts before a sprint. We had a sample size of 26. 4 out of his 26 winners had no workout before a win. 2 out of 26 had a 3 furlong workout before a win with an average time of 37.8 seconds. 15 of his 26 winners had an average time of 50.5 seconds at a 4 furlong workout. 5 furlongs, 5 out of 26 for an average time of 102.7. And 1 mile, no 1 mile works, let alone 6 furlong workouts. 2 workouts before a sprint win pattern. 17 out of 26 wins had 2 workouts before a win. Most often occurring was a 4 furlong most recent with a 5 furlong beforehand, 9 times. 5 furlongs, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 3, 1, 3, 4, 1. My takeaways: Jamie Thomas prefers a 4 furlong workout before a sprint win 58% of the time. 5 out of his 26, 19% for sprint races were tag drops or those non-claiming into claiming races. Likes to get 2 workouts before a win. 65% of the time, he likes to have 2 workouts before a sprint win. That was notable to me. Likes to get a little extra preparation. Takes time with his horses, I guess you could think about. A 5 furlong work for sprinters was 2.5 seconds in his routers. So when he's sitting on a sprinter that's about to win, he tends to work them much quicker than his routers. Albeit it's not a fast speed overall. 1 minute and 2 seconds isn't real fast, but he does work them faster than his routers. Jamie Thomas's workouts before a route win, there's only a sample size of 5, so this tells me he's not really a route specialist. None out of 5 for no workout. No 3 furlong workouts before a route win. 3 out of his 5 wins were at 4 furlongs with an average time of 50.1 seconds. 2 out of 5 with an average time of 1 minute 5.2 seconds. And none at a mile or more. 2 workouts before a route win pattern. 4 out of his 5 route winners had 2 workouts before their win. 4 furlong, twice, 5 and 5, once, 5 and 4 once. My takeaways: prefers 2 workouts before a route win 80% of the time, albeit small sample size, but likes to get in a couple of long works. Many more sprint winners, 5 versus 26. Again, out of the random racing forms I had, definitely seems to be more of a sprint specialist. 3 out of his 5 route winners, 60% of them were those tag drop or non-claiming into claiming races. So if Jamie Thomas has a route runner on a certain day, they've worked out twice before the race and are dropping in price, that seems like a nice angle to maybe take a second look, especially at longer odds that the horse could run pretty well. Again, likes to get 2 workouts before a win 80% of the time. Again, small sample size, I understand. His routers, when they work 4 furlongs, on average work almost a half second faster than his sprinters. Now, when we just compare the two, here are some key takeaways that I got. Isidro Tamayo has similar success at routes versus sprints. He's had roughly the same number of wins, I think 39 and 41, just throughout my random racing forms. Similar tag drop for sprints versus routes, a 24% combined. 24% of his winners tend to be those class droppers, so he's not afraid to drop a horse in price to get a win. Rarely has a 3 furlong work before a sprint or a route win. 1 for 80 combined for a 1.25% total. Prefers no workouts or a 4 furlong workout before a sprout or a route win. 81% of the time there were no workouts or a 4 furlong workout. His 4 furlong workouts are moderate in speed, 49 and almost a half seconds combined for route or sprint. 5 furlong workouts are slower, a minute and 3 seconds combined for sprint and route. And he's more likely to work a router at 5 furlongs before a win, as opposed to a sprinter 22% of the time versus 13% of the time. So he likes to work his routers longer and slower than his sprinters. Jamie Thomas appears to have more success with sprinters than routers. Again, unless they are dropping in class and have 2 workouts before the race, then you might want to take a second look. Much more likely to tag drop and win with routers than with sprinters. 60% with his routers, again, sample size of 5, versus 19% were tag droppers for sprints. Less likely to have no workouts before a sprint or a route win. 4 out of 31 times he won without having a workout before the race that he won. Jamie Thomas likely to have 2 workouts before a sprint or a route win, so either or. 21 out of 31, or 68% of the time, there were 2 workouts before his horse won. And he tends to work his horses slow before a sprint or a route win, with average times for 3 furlongs at 37.8 seconds, 4 furlongs at average time of 50.3. That's again for sprint or route. And 5 furlongs for 1 minute and 4 seconds sprint or route. So again, this includes all the outliers on the random forms I had, but I do think that the information, there might be a little nugget in there. And again, it's called grain of salt for a reason. Just something I noticed when I was looking at the leading trainers from Sacramento, which had been these two for the last 3 years. So I thought it was worthwhile to go back and look at what these two do consistently before they win a race. And I thought I would share that with myself, but also with anyone who may be watching. I hope that made sense and gave someone a little food for thought. Again, thanks for watching Monday Morning Handicapping. This has been a grain of salt, and thanks for watching. See you next time.